Hi guys, it's Nancy with Nancy's Nibbles of Life and welcome back to the channel. If you're new around here, again, welcome. My name is Nancy and I'm on the WW Personal Points Plan. My 0-point foods are lean turkey and chicken, eggs, seafood, vegetables, corn, and popcorn. That leads me to why I thought this would be a great video to bring to my channel. Protein is such an important thing on your weight loss or your wellness journey, and oftentimes it's high in points. But I thought today I would bring you some of the lowest points in protein that I've used over the years. Some of you may know this information already. Others, it may be a surprise to find out. So, are you ready to get into it? Let's go. So again, protein is such an important thing that we need to consider on our day-to-day food choices because of course protein allows you to stay fuller longer. It just fits so well into your, nutritional needs on a day-to-day basis. And whether you are a meat eater or not, you could find protein in so many ways. But again, it can be high in points. So I thought it would be helpful to bring a list of proteins that I like to eat and their point values. Some of them are really low and you really should be taking advantage of them in your day-to-day. So let's start with the obvious. I listed to you my 0-point foods, and eggs are of course a great source of protein and really low in points. For me, they're 0. And of course, I love to have eggs in many different ways. I'll have them, of course, for breakfast. Sometimes I will add an egg to a salad because I just love the runny yolk effect. But eggs are a great 0-point alternative for protein. Also, I have a 0-point seafood list. So seafoods, fish, shrimp, shellfish, all 0 smart points for me. All very low in points if it's not on your 0-point food list. Shellfish, fish, all very low in points. So you want to make sure that you're adding things like tilapia, redfish. Catfish is such a nutritional fish, by the way. It's a fatty fish too, and it can be delicious. I love catfish in the broiler with a little bit of light butter and lemon. So delicious. You can also use many of the blackened seasonings in the grocery store for catfish. Blackened catfish. You'll find that on many menus at restaurants, but you can make it right at home. Just maybe a teaspoon of oil. I find that you only really need a small amount of oil. Get your skillet nice and hot. Add you some blackened seasoning to your fish. Cook it really hot and fast. And maybe even finish it in the oven. And what you end up with is a blackened crispy top to your fish. So delicious. So catfish is great, and also shrimp. I love shrimp, and I make those all kind of ways, in omelets sometimes for breakfast. Shrimp tacos, as you know, is one of my favorite things, and it is on the channel here. I think I have 2 or 3 shrimp taco recipes. But shrimp is a great one. So, if seafood and fish is on your 0-point list, great alternatives for low points in protein. Okay, let's talk about some of the others on my list. Okay, for breakfast, sometimes I love ham. And ham steak is so low in points, and I don't think people realize it because it's delicious. And it's something you might think is decadent, but you could find a ham steak in your grocery store, and 3 ounces of that ham steak is only 2 smart points. So it's a great alternative for breakfast. I know that we all love bacon, but even the center cut bacon, you could get tired of that after a little while. So switch it up a little bit and try your ham steak. 3 ounces, 2 smart points, you can't beat that. Speaking of ham, Canadian bacon is also such a great breakfast alternative. It's a great breakfast protein. And you could have 2 to 4 slices, depending on your brand, of that circular Canadian bacon for 1 smart point. So, you know, you just can't beat that. And if you want, you can add your Canadian bacon to a small skillet with a little bit of cooking spray, and you can crisp up that Canadian bacon, and it gives you a real bacon effect because you get it kind of crispy. 2 to 4 slices of that for 1 smart point. You can't beat that. Again, depending on your brand. I love ham, and that ham steak and that Canadian bacon, just great options for breakfast or even lunch. Okay, let's move on. Now, who doesn't love a good steak? I love beef and I love steak, but again, those steaks can be high in points. I mean, take a look at your average ribeye. It can get up there, you know, and you might find a lean ribeye in the grocery store, but more than likely you're gonna have to trim that ribeye, you know, really good to get a lot of that fat out. But one of the steaks that I really love is a flank steak. So I have a recipe on my channel, I'll link it here, of a flank steak. It is such a delicious steak that you could put on the grill. In fact, if I have it, I'll include a little clip here of what that looks like. But you can cook it on your indoor grill. Flank steak is so delicious. Add you a few grill marks, and you think that you were outside on your barbecue grill. 3 ounces of that flank steak is only 4 smart points, and that's a good amount, 3 ounces of that flank steak. So it's a kind of an expensive cut. In fact, everything in beef these days can be a little expensive. But you know, go for it if you are really craving a good steak, but you want to keep your points low. Flank steak. If you don't see it in your meat section at your grocery store, ask your butcher about it. So I love a good flank steak, so check that out. And again, at 4 smart points, you just can't beat that. Okay, let's keep going. What about pork? So I love a pork loin. So you've seen these before in your grocery store. They come sometime packaged, and they are kind of a circular piece of meat. And actually, I made a pork loin here on my recipe. Again, if I could find a clip, I'll add it here, or a picture. But pork loin is so lean, you know, and it's really easy to cook. Again, something you could do on your grill top, maybe finish it in the oven. You could stuff your pork loin as well, which is what I did to one of my recipes. And you can add so many marinades to a pork loin because it will basically take on whatever flavor profile you're using. So pork loin, again, it's a very lean pork, and it's only 4 smart points for 3 ounces, just like that flank steak. 4 smart points for a nice hearty protein. You know, you just can't beat it. And you know, pork loin is something that you can dress up or dress down. You could bring it to the table and, you know, make it kind of fancy. But it's such a low point protein. You got to check that out sometime. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, let's talk turkey. So, you know, Thanksgiving is around the corner, and you might have some turkey legs sticking around. Those turkey drumsticks are a really, really good alternative. You know, I buy the turkey drumsticks sometimes just on their own, and I'll add them to my crock pot and cook them for hours, and they just fall apart on you. You know, it reminds me of something like a fair food. You know, you've seen those huge turkey drumsticks that they serve up. But you know, they really are hearty and delicious. And I do find that if you cook the turkey drumstick for a while and let that meat kind of fall off the bone, it's just delicious. Sometimes I'll add some beans to a crock pot recipe for my turkey drumsticks. But skinless turkey drumsticks are 3 ounces for 3 smart points. And what I like most about a turkey drumstick is that it's the dark meat. So, you know, it's a little juicy and just tastes a bit fattier than, let's say, for example, your turkey breast, which on my plan is 0 smart points, by the way. Another great alternative, a turkey breast. But the drumstick is juicy. It's made up of dark meat. I just love it. So if you see the turkey drumsticks in your grocery store, if you're kind of a novice cooker, they can be intimidating because they're huge. But you know, if you have a crock pot, just fit those things in the crock pot, squish it down really good. It'll cook down, don't worry about it. So it'll fit in there. Add you a little water, bell pepper, onion, and some seasonings, and you have something so delicious. Just don't forget to remove that skin, because that skin is tough, but it'll add points. So a skinless turkey drumstick, 3 smart points, great alternative. Okay, I mentioned to you the turkey breast, 0 smart points. That's next on my list. You know, of course, you can buy you a whole turkey and have just the breast. But of course, you could find the entire breast uncooked portion in your grocery store. And you could cook that up even for your holiday meals and just remove the skin. 0 smart points for that turkey breast. And again, it's something that takes on whatever flavor profile you're using. So for the holidays, of course, something like poultry seasoning or sage is a great thing to season your turkey breast with. But, you know, away from the holidays, something like a Cajun seasoning or even that blackened seasoning that I mentioned to you would be delicious on something like a turkey breast. You know, again, it takes on the flavor profile of whatever you're cooking, so you can get really creative with your turkey breast. And at 0 smart points, you know, we should be taking advantage of that. And so a great way to add a little protein, keep you full. And I read somewhere that turkey has some kind of protein in it that makes you sleep. So have a great turkey dinner and get a good night's sleep. Okay, let's move on. Okay, speaking of turkey, on my 0 points food list, I mentioned to you that, of course, lean chicken and turkey. Ground turkey at the 99% lean and 1% fat is 0 smart points. So I happen to have one here, and it's the Jenny O brand. And you see, it says the 99% lean and 1% fat. The Jenny O brand is a really good brand for ground turkey breast. 0 smart points. So, you know, with ground turkey, you could make burgers. I made a delicious turkey burger with this last night. I'll insert a picture here. You could get a big turkey burger using this 99% lean ground turkey. It's so good. And you could do meatloaf, meatballs, so many great things. Tacos are a great thing to do with this 99% lean ground turkey breast. So for 0 smart points, you know, you got to take advantage of that. Just so many things that you could do. So my husband is not a big turkey fan. So, you know, ground turkey, I should say. When it's burger night, he prefers lean ground beef. But if you season up your turkey really well, he can't tell the difference, I say sometimes. But it's just such a great thing, you know, 0 smart points. And again, so many things you could do. Meatloaf, turkey balls, tacos, you know, just wow, so great. So if you see that Jenny O ground turkey breast in your grocery store, pick it up. It's so worth the price. And sometimes you can find it on sale, so you should stock up. Trader Joe's also carries the 99% lean ground turkey breast. Okay, next on my list, and you know, these are for folks that are not eating meat. Tofu, firm tofu is such a great alternative for protein because it has, again, great numbers in terms of protein. 3 ounces for 2 smart points. So one of the great things about a firm tofu is that you can fry it up just like you would, you know, a regular piece of chicken or something like that. And it has a crispy texture to it. So tofu is really great. You could add tofu to your stews and your soups. Again, especially the firm tofu, because it just has a toothy texture to it. So it really does feel like, you know, you're having a good protein. And it does take on whatever flavor profile that you're cooking with. So tofu, but use the firm tofu. There are some soft tofus out there that are actually 0 smart points in the Weight Watchers app. But you know, the softer tofu just kind of falls apart on you. So if you're using it for anything like a stew or a soup, it just kind of falls apart on you. And so if you're really looking for some texture, something that will mimic, you know, a piece of meat, for example, or a piece of chicken or a piece of fish, the firm is the best. Again, 3 ounces, 2 smart points. Okay, another great thing that you can have in place of actual meat if you're a vegetarian are lentils. Lentils are so awesome. The red lentils, they take such a little amount of time to cook. You can make them for lunch. It's so easy to cook them. Add you a little water and some of those red lentils. Use a little bit of curry seasoning, for example. Oh, it's so delicious. There is a recipe on my channel, I'll link that here as well, with red lentils. I got it from the WW cookbook. Such a great protein and low point protein. A half a cup of those lentils for me are 2 smart points. But you know, many of you have beans on your 0 point foods list, so it would cost you nothing. But lentils are a great alternative. In fact, all beans are. I love, for example, black-eyed peas. Oh my God, those are so good. But great protein alternatives if you're a vegetarian and you're not eating meat. Okay, you know, one quick junk food item that I like to offer up are hot dogs. Hold on, I'll show you. You know, sometimes you just want a hot dog. And luckily there are so many turkey dogs on the grocery or in the grocery aisles these days. One of my favorites, you know, that Jenny O turkey brand I showed you a little bit ago, are their turkey franks. 3 smart points for one of these turkey franks. And they taste great, only 70 calories. So 4 grams of protein for one of these turkey dogs. You know, like I said, sometimes you just want to have a hot dog, and these are a great alternative. And again, fat-free turkey dogs, you could find those in the grocery store, and some of those come in at 0 or 1 smart point. So really, really great stuff out these days in the grocery store for low point alternatives. If you haven't thought about any of these items, you might want to give them a try. You know, again, it's just so helpful on our weight loss or our wellness journeys if we are discovering new foods and really researching and finding what low point foods can I add to my day so that I can enjoy my food and stick to my goals. Okay guys, well that's gonna do it for me today. If you like this video, please don't forget to give me a like and a thumbs up. I really appreciate that. And guess what? If you have any other options, leave them in the comments below. And I'll see you on the next video. Okay, thanks guys. Bye.